Hey, what's happening, awesome people? I hope you're having a great day today. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Joshua Partugi. I'm a professional Scrum trainer based in Brisbane, Australia. Welcome on board to our community of passionate changemakers. In today's video, we will learn about another complementary practice that we can use with Scrum. So today we will learn about how to implement Scrum with user experience. In some companies who practice both Scrum and user experience, I noticed the UX professionals work one sprint ahead of the engineers, and when I observed closer, sometimes these companies end up having a feature factory. By the way, before I carry on, you already know what I mean by feature factories, right? Well, if you haven't already watched my video on feature factories, you can click the link up here to watch that video first. Now that you have watched that video, I hope you can appreciate what we want to achieve from using Scrum with UX. So whether you're a Scrum team member or a UX professional, if you want to explore how to use Scrum with UX, stick around because I'll be back right after this one. Before we continue, I would like to let you know upfront that this is not the video that elaborates user experience in detail. On the field, there are of course many other user experience activities besides the ones I will mention in this video. In this video, we will only explore how to implement Scrum with UX. As today's video is quite long, I would also like to let you know that I have put chapter markers on the slider of this video to make it easier for you to navigate to certain topics on this video. Okay, so let's start today's learning. User experience was a term that was coined by Don Norman during his tenure at Apple. Don Norman has a background in cognitive science and usability engineering. From my observation, just like Scrum, user experience has also been widely misunderstood. I noticed that there are many people who think that user experience is only about user interface design and only the job of the designers. According to Don Norman, user experience is everything that touches the user's experience when the user is with the product and also when the user is not with the product. Great user experience is the responsibility of everyone in the company. When we look at the objective of Scrum and UX, it's actually not much different. Scrum has an objective to deliver value early and often to the customer through the product, while UX has an objective to give users the best experience when using the product. When the UX professionals and the engineers look at the same problem in the same sprint, they will be able to create the most effective solution for the customers. That solution should generate outcomes for the customers and also the company you work with. In short, the objective of using Scrum with UX is to optimize outcomes. When the UX professionals and the engineers collaborate in the same sprint to optimize outcome, we have to acknowledge there will be consequences. The engineers and the UX professionals may complete less amount of work or less output. But if you're also concerned with this, ask yourself this question. What's the point of having UX professionals and engineers complete a lot of output, but the product functionalities that they develop does not generate outcomes? I notice people from some cultures think that output is the same as outcome. That's why I have made a video that explains the differences between outcome and output. If you haven't watched that video, you can click the link up here to watch that video first. When we implement Scrum with UX, what we need to keep in mind at all times is the same Scrum values and principles still apply. Scrum values are what make Scrum have that oomph. If you haven't watched my video on Scrum values, go check it out on my channel and watch that video. When we want to implement Scrum with UX, Obviously, we need to embrace the UX professionals to be part of the Scrum team first. Now, some people, especially those who are new to Scrum, have misunderstood that the developers in the Scrum team are only the people who write the software codes. In the context of Scrum, the UX professionals are considered as the product developers too. If we go back to history, in the new product development game, the paper that inspired Scrum, Professor Hirotaka Takeuchi and Ikujiro Nonaka wrote that the products that they observed were made by designers and engineers who collaborate cross-functionally. Here's what's interesting. Takeuchi and Nonaka call these designers and engineers as development teams because together they develop the product. Because the term developers have been misunderstood in some cultures, I've made a video about who are the developers in the Scrum team. If you haven't watched that video, you can click the link up here to watch that video. So throughout this video, whenever I say developers, by any means, I'm not excluding the UX professionals. Just like the Scrum Guide 2020, in this video, I use the word developers not to exclude the UX professionals, but to simplify. And whenever I say Scrum team, I'm also including the UX professionals. As written on Scrum Guide, the entire Scrum team is accountable for creating a valuable, useful increment every sprint. The UX professionals and the engineers are in the same Scrum team who have the same shared accountability. The UX professionals and the engineers work with one product owner. We can call the product owner, the UX professionals, and the engineers as the product trio. Product trio concept is quite common in many technology or digital product companies. Because the UX professionals are part of the same Scrum team, they also join all of the Scrum events from sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and also retrospectives. When both the UX professionals and the engineers work on the same product, they have the same product goal. Because the product goal is in the product backlog, they work from the same product backlog that is managed by the same product owner. There shouldn't be a separate UX backlog because by doing so, it will discourage people from owning the same shared accountability. If you still need further explanation on product goal and product backlog, I've already made a video about it. Go check it out on my channel. Because the UX professionals and the engineers work from the same product backlog, they should refine the product backlog and create experiments together. The UX professionals and the engineers may express the product backlog items that involve experimentation as hypotheses. I have also already made a video on how to express the product backlog items as hypotheses. If you haven't watched that video, folks, go click the link up here to watch that video. I personally think that the majority of experiments cannot be made by the UX professionals in isolation without involving the engineers. One example is experiments that use the canary release model, where a small subset of the consumers will get the latest version of the product that is deployed on one machine, while the majority of the consumers get the stable version that is deployed on a different machine. Canary release is just one type of experiment though. There are many more models of experiments that require the UX professionals and the engineers to put their heads down together, such as feature fake, feature flagging, Wizard of Oz, etc. The point I'm making here is the UX professionals and the engineers need to put their heads down together in the same sprint so they're able to create the most effective and low-risk experiments. UX activities such as field study, ethnographic study, and diary study may take several sprints to generate results. I found that Kanban is a good tool to visualize and track all of the product backlog items that will span across more than one sprint. Now, before the whole Scrum team can use Kanban effectively, they need to visualize the whole process in the value stream, starting from discovery, delivery, and validation. After they have visualized the whole value stream, the UX professionals and the engineers should track the customer cycle time of product backlog items that have been on the Kanban board for more than one sprint. In tools like Kanbanize, the customer cycle time is visible on each product backlog item. Now you need to check whether the tools you currently use have a functionality to display the customer cycle time on each product backlog item. The UX professionals and the engineers should also look at the aging work in process chart during every daily Scrum. check out my video on Daily Scrum with Kanban available on this channel for more explanation on this topic. So when the Scrum team discovers there are product backlog items with cycle time that have exceeded a certain number of sprints and yet the outcome is not visible, during the sprint review, they should discuss with the stakeholders whether these product backlog items should be dropped or whether it should stay on the Kanban board for several more sprints until the outcome is visible. During the sprint retrospectives, the whole Scrum team should also have a discussion on how to make these types of long-spanning UX activities to be shorter in the future sprints. For example, during sprint retrospectives, the Scrum team may come up with an idea to narrow down the scope of research or to reduce the level of fidelity of the product interface or the experiments. From what I have observed, when the UX professionals and the engineers manage the same product backlog from the same Kanban board, first, the UX professionals and the engineers will deliver the product functionalities with optimal customer cycle time. I personally think that's definitely a win for the customer because the customer will get the product functionality sooner and more often. And secondly, there will be less to no pushback from the engineers regarding the functionalities that will be developed in the delivery process because the engineers have been involved in the whole discovery process. So as we Scrum practitioners know, in essence, if we summarize Scrum into one sentence, Scrum is about delivering usable, releasable, valuable increments every single sprint. So even though there are some UX-related activities that take more than one sprint to generate results, the UX professionals and the engineers need to collaborate to ensure there is at least one usable increment delivered every sprint. As written on Scrum Guide, only usable increments that have value for the customers and also for the consumers. Work results such as research or wireframes or mockups or customer interviews by itself are not valuable for the customers and also for the consumers. I also noticed the term increment in Scrum can be confusing for some people, especially those who are new to Scrum. And because of that reason, I've also made a video about it. If you haven't watched that video, folks, you can pause this video and click the link up here. Now, as I have explained in that video, the increment has a commitment to fulfill every single checkbox on the definition of done. That means any quality measures that are UX related goes in the same definition of done that are used by the engineers. The UX professionals and the engineers have a shared ownership over the same definition of done. So here is an example of a definition of done that includes UX-related quality measures. Feel free to pause this video so you can read the text. As you can see, the text in red are the UX-related quality measures. To ensure there's at least a usable increment every sprint, both the UX professionals and the engineers are encouraged to learn from each other and to switch hats. The UX professionals can look into the possibility to pair up with the engineers when doing any engineering activities. On the other side, the engineers must also be open to do some UX-related activities with the UX professionals. In most cases I have seen, the UX professionals will facilitate the UX-related workshops and also teach the engineers on how to do some UX activities that do not require a deep-level expertise in UX and design. Okay, so this was quite a long video, even though I can still continue talking about Scrum with UX and make this video even longer. But I hope the message that has been conveyed in this video is clear. The objective of Scrum with UX is to optimize outcomes for the customers and also for the company you work with. Having UX professionals, designers, and engineers work together as a true cross-functional team is definitely challenging, especially in cultures who still view people as feature factories. I feel you folks, I've been there before. Separating UX professionals from the engineers is definitely tempting. It may look more efficient because people can do more stuff, but it often leads to suboptimal results. At the end of the day, I think it's a matter of values and principles that you believe in. Do you believe in having people who are actually working for the same product in separate boxes? Or do you believe in having people maximize collective intelligence and outcomes in the same box? So, I have taken my stance, and I personally believe in the latter. If you want to learn more about Scrum with UX, you can attend the Professional Scrum with UX course from scrum.org. The two other courses I suggest you attend are the Professional Scrum with Kanban and also Applying Professional Scrum for Software Development. There are quite a lot of practical hands-on activities taught in these three courses. Alright folks, before you leave, don't forget to smash that like button down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go subscribe now because I will upload more videos in the future that can help you improve your Scrum team's effectiveness and most importantly, your organization's state of agility. For all of you aspiring Scrum Masters out there, don't forget to follow my podcast, Think and Act Like a Scrum Master, either on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. And while you wait for my next videos or my next podcast episodes, you can click the thumbnails here and there to watch more videos on professional Scrum and other complementary practices for Scrum. See you until my next video, folks. Until then, don't forget to stay safe and stay awesome.